Hello everyone. So in this video we will learn about Dijkstra algorithm. So Dijkstra algorithm, what is Dijkstra algorithm? So it's an algorithm with which we can calculate shortest path, and it could be for directed or indirected graph both, or I mean, the graph might have the cycles as well, but from the graph perspective, the graph shouldn't have any negative weight within it. Okay, so let's draw some graph structure so that we can iterate. Suppose this is like, for an example, this is node 3, this is node 2, which is connected, and we are having node 4 over here. So let's say the weight is 4, 5, 2, 8, 9, and 4. So let's draw this as well and take a number like 5. Suppose this is our source. So our target is to visit every node, and whenever we'll be visiting node, we will be calculating the distance. So every node has its distance from another node. Okay, so suppose we have like the source node is, as I mentioned, this one. So this is our vertex. So for right now, if we just decide, let me take a different color as well. So if we start from here, so and if we say like we are having two segment of list, one is visited and another one is unvisited. So this is our source, but at the very beginning we are having, I mean, no node has been visited, so the array is basically, or the list is basically an empty one, and we are having all the nodes over here which is unvisited right now, right? So once we start iterating, so we'll be expecting at the very beginning the minimum distance Walla node, and that is basically this node. So we are putting over here the vertex node into the visited array. Okay, that's cool. So we are just pointing out, that means this is visited, we are pointing out. So now what exactly we're gonna do? We will visit the adjacents of this node, and we will try to find out that who is having the minimum path. That's our goal. So if we try to think, who are the adjacents? इसका neighbor कौन कौन है? 1 and 2, right? But I just need to mention over here that we need an initialization step, a very beginning step, uh, which will help us to iterate this algorithm. So initially we can say that we are having, whenever we have started this particular journey, at the very beginning, the source is having 0 distance, and every node which has been not visited is having something infinite. So the weight of every node is basically infinite. Okay, so if we try to find out the neighbors of this 0, 0 say 0, 0, 0 say 1, now we are having cost 4. So who is basically minimum? Infinity and 4. That is basically, if we want to travel from 0 to 1, we are having cost like 4. So minimum between 4 and infinity is basically 4. So we are discarding infinity, we are putting 4 over here. The similar pattern, if we want to travel from 0 to 2, the cost is basically 8. And who is the minimum between 8 and infinity? 8. So we are discarding infinity and putting it at 8. Fine. So now you can assume this cost means basically the distance between these two nodes. So 8 is basically the lowest number, so that's why we have considered 8. Fine. So actually, if we just think from a very up level, high level, you can assume that this is basically what, that we are trying to travel from one node to another node, and which is having the minimum path. We are considering this, we are admiring that. So right now every nodes are unvisited, so except 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so which is having the minimum cost between 1 and 2? One is having 4, another one is 8. So we will consider which one, which node we will consider as to visit, we have to visit, whichever having the minimum. आप 0 से start कर रहे हो, तो आप अगर 1 पे आओगे, you are having cost like 4. आप अगर 2 पे आओगे, you are having cost like 8. So you are in greedy nature kind of a thing. You can assume that in this way. So you will always try to pick that node which is having minimum cost. So node number 1 is going to have the minimum cost. So आप यहाँ पढ़ाओगे. So this node is going to be the visited node right now. So naturally your first question would be that if it is visited, then I need to keep it over here into the visited list, and you are absolutely right. So right now the list over here is going to be changed, that is 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we will do the same thing. Now we will do the same thing, but we will see, we will explore all the neighbor nodes of 1, right? So 1 के neighbor nodes कौन है? 0, 2 and 3. Now 0 will be ignored. Why? Because this is already visited. So we will focus on 2 and 3. Same process. So we will explore 2 and 3. But what exactly we mean by exploring 2 and 3 at this step? At this step, we will try to move from 1 to 2 and 1 to 3. So you can see like path cost via 1, right? So that is, source is basically 0. 0 से 1 तक का जो distance है वो actually same है, and that is basically coming from dist array. Fine. So dist 1 and plus we need to understand the 1 से 2. So we will traverse from 1 to 2. So 1 to 2 distance. So this is 4, and this is 1 to 2 is basically 2, 6. Now we will check which is the minimum between 6 and 8. 6 is the minimum, so we will consider 6 over here. Okay, so we will honor this particular part. Fine, because this is a better option as it is giving us the minimum cost. Now again, in case of path via 1, there is another thing, that is distance 3, right? Plus 1, 3. So distance 3 is basically, if we just consider, sorry, not distance 3, this is distance 1, extremely sorry, pardon. So in case of distance 1, we are having 4, and this is 5. So basically 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. So who is the minimum between infinite and 9? Definitely 9. So we will honor 9 over here, right? That is true. Now, if it is clear, so what is the next step? So now we have to choose. Now we have to decide who is going to be, which node is going to, we need to visit. So we are having one node is having cost 6, another node is having cost 9. So who is going to be considered? This one, right? So 2, 3 and 4 may minimum distance at 2 ka. So we will basically pick up 2. So 0, 1, 2. So that is going to be visited. So we will try to explore right now the neighbors of 2 who are unvisited. So unvisited neighbors rather we can say. So 2 का neighbor कौन कौन है? 0 है, 1 है, 3 and 4 है. But 0 and all already has been visited. So who are left? 3 and 4. Fantastic. Now we have not changed over here the unvisited array. So that is basically 3 and 4. So 2 के थ्रू अगर हम लोगों को 3 तक पहुंचना है, so path cost via 2, then what is going to happen? So 2 तक पहुंचने का कॉस्ट कितना है? 6 plus 5 11, right? 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. I'm just writing over it, but we are having already 9 over here, so 11 is not going to be considered because this is not the minimum, right? We will not update over here. Now 2 से 4 तक डिस्टेंस का 9 है, so 2 तक पहुंचने का कॉस्ट है 6 plus 9, that is 13, sorry 15. So who is basically lesser than infinity and 15? So we will consider 15 over here, that's for sure. Fine. Now unvisited unvisited array में 3 and 4 है. Who is the minimum between 3 and 4? We are having 9 and 15, so we will pick 9. 0 1 2 3. 3 के unvisited array adjacents explore करेंगे. That is only 4 right now, because 3 is having adjacency adjacent nodes like 2 1 and 4, but 1 and 2 is already coming under visited part, right? Only part which is left or unvisited part, that is 4. So I'm just writing 4 over here. Now we have to consider that what is the cost? 3 तक पहुंचने का कॉस्ट कितना है? 9. 9 plus 4 is equal to 13, because 3 से 4 तक जो कॉस्ट है वो 4 है. So 13 and 15, who is the minimum? Definitely 13. So we'll consider 13, right? Because earlier we have considered 15, right now we have considered 13, right? So we are having 4 over here. So now we are having every vertex cost from source, and that is minimum, right? So यही हम लोगों को करना है, ठीक है? So we will put the pseudo code in the next video. Okay, so just we are closing this video for the sake of simplicity. I hope you understand how this algorithm proceeds, or how this algorithm picks data and feeds into it itself and comes or generates result. Okay, so in the next video we will discuss the pseudo code. Thank you so much.